Hey, well, here we are back again. Simon Ward. This time I'm joined by a female winner, Catriona Morrision. Well done, Catriona, for your performance today. A comeback win for you, coming from the back to win.
Yes, well, you know, that's the story of my triathlon life. You'd be falling over backwards if you said, oh, you led from start to finish.
It'd be a nice change for you though, wouldn't it? But
yes.
We're just about to get assaulted by your power bar sponsor.
I know, assault. I'll hold it back.
We'll be nice and relaxed and keep it up there. So just talk us through your race then, because we had a bit of a delayed start. So what, yes. People think that as a professional you should be able to deal with being delayed for an hour. Does it make it is it any easier for you to deal with than it is for the age groupers?
I don't think it's any easier, but I think we probably know what to do. You know, everyone has to go through through the actual delay, but you know, we were able to sit down, have a gas, make sure that we still, we were being hydrated, have a little bit of extra food. So, I mean, I think it probably affects people more mentally than anything else, and it wasn't stressful. I mean, it was quite nice to catch up with a few people, to be honest. But it does, you know, when we actually got into the water and started it, I did kind of feel sluggish.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I had a particularly bad swim. You know, 2.5 minutes off Julie, that's par for the course.
I think everybody was, weren't they?
You know, so it probably wasn't as bad a swim as it felt when I was out there.
Right.
It's just that, like you say, we've been delayed and eventually you get started, and you feel like slugging away for the first little while.
That's right. So you were out of the bike. You came out with Bella, didn't you? So you ride pretty much, inside of each other for the whole race.
Yeah, it was getting pretty frustrating actually.
Right.
And that's more me. I like not to need to worry about, drafting and being, in that zone where you may or may not be caught, because it's stressful. Like, I don't like to, I don't like to be basically I don't like to be anywhere near anyone. No. And so it took, to be honest, it was until the first of the second hill on the second lap where really quickly I must have made maybe a minute on her. But that wasn't until the second lap. So, and then, I looked behind and I couldn't see her, and I thought, excellent.
I'm on my own.
But I was more happy that I couldn't see her, because I don't really know how well Bella's running right now, and I'd prefer to come into transition with a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah. Okay. So you came in 5-6 minutes behind Julie?
6 something, I think. Yeah.
That's quite a big gap, isn't it?
Yeah, I tried not to be too downhearted about it. I just thought, that's big. Better start working then.
And do you? I mean, again, a lot of the age groupers will be thinking, well, how do you go about making up a 6-minute lead? Do you just get your head down and get into your rhythm and run and see what happens, or do you consciously think, right, I've got to be making up 1.5 minutes every 5 or 6k?
I didn't want to think like that, because it's paralysis by analysis, really, to be honest. And if you set yourself a target like that and you're not hitting it, then you might end up moving yourself backwards. I just put my head down, ran at a pace that felt comfortable, and then began to hear the splits. And it wasn't until going on to the third lap where before the out and back, and my husband yelled 2.5 minutes, where I actually thought, I can catch her now. So up until 2/3 of the way through the run, I didn't think I was actually going to get her.
So is that your second half Ironman victory this year?
Yes.
And you've also won the duathlon?
St. Croix, and won the European Championship.
Okay, so it's turning into a pretty good year already for you.
Yeah, I've only had one bummer. I did the race at Strathclyde. Well, I didn't do the race, that's lying. I did the swim. Well, you'll know because Felicity was there. I did the swim in the first lap with a bike, and I just thought, oh boy, I don't feel well at all. So that was a bit disappointing, because I never like to pull out in a race.
No, and it's almost
especially
home turf.
I mean, to be honest, that's the only reason I did it, because I wanted to support a race that was on home turf, and obviously being the Commonwealth Games course. Okay. And then it actually made it worse to pull out at a home event as well, because I felt like a bit of a fraud, and I was a bit downhearted, and then I went to Budapest the next weekend, and I was thinking, well, you better have a good one here. Right. So I was lucky enough it happened.
So I heard you saying earlier on that your next one's even longer than this.
To Roth.
and you seem full of enthusiasm about that.
I'm never full of enthusiasm for racing. I don't know. Everyone says, why do you do it? And I'm like, I really don't know. Because when I get out there, I enjoy it, but I don't like the build-up. Every time I start on the line, I'm like, bloody hell.
So.
But yeah, Roth is a totally new experience. Roth is an experiment. It's about finishing and being
Right.
to be honest.
Well,
I don't have any expectations.
The last British woman who tried an Ironman to see what would happen has gone on to be the world champion, hasn't she? So, you know, who knows what might happen.
Well, I know Chrissy's pretty nervous about Roth as well, so I was having a good laugh at that.
Yeah.
I'm going to email her, why are you nervous? Well, it's a good sign if someone like, you know, obviously someone like Chrissy can be, you know, still nervous and you know, having a lot of pre-race jitters, then,
yeah.
You know, it's good.
And you've already qualified for Kona this year, Monaco.
Yes.
So probably trying to put that to the back of your mind, until after Roth.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I had two things in mind. Either, you know, do like, you know, a few people are doing. Miranda's going to Kona without doing an race, and you know, and obviously Samantha was out in some sort of scenario.
Yeah.
I thought I can either do that or I can try an Ironman first. And you know, I'm a wimp. I don't like. I'm not one for. You know, there's not great deal of spontaneity in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought I'd rather do the distance and see what it's all about.
Okay.
I know the coaches are competitive.
Yeah.
I think it's just about time.
Right. Okay. So that's 4 weeks from now, is it, Roth?
Yeah.
Sorry to remind you of that.
4 weeks of hard graft. Well, 3 weeks of hard graft.
Yeah. Okay, so you only have a week's taper then?
I hate the whole tapering business.
See, this is interesting for age groupers watching that think that their pros have got it all nailed down, they know exactly what they're doing every day, and here we are finding out that actually...
I swear, all these age groupers I keep asking for, it's Ironman business.
Yeah.
Any hints?
Well, because you work with Phil Skeeber now, don't
Yes.
you? Is that right? And there's a friend of mine, Dave Tilbury Davis.
Yeah, he's
you know
over there
Dave?
right now, yeah.
I was with Dave the other week when he fell off his bike.
Oh, that's where the road rash picture came from.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yes, it was mine. So Roth, then anything else?
Roth, and I've entered the 70.3 in Calgary, but on the basis that the race organiser knows that I may not actually race, because never having done an Ironman, I have no idea, you know, how it affects you systemically, you know, what your recovery is. So Calgary's a new 70.3 on the scene, and I spent a lot of time in Canada. I did my
Altitude
masters.
as well, though, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sneaky. They don't really tell you. Yeah, when you first arrive in Calgary, you do notice it.
Yeah.
I spent a couple of years in Edmonton, and so I've got a lot of friends in Calgary. And really, it's like I want to go to Calgary to do the race because I've got floors to sleep on.
Right.
I've got gossip to catch up.
Yeah. So it's just a good visit really for you, and with a bit of training in the middle.
And then I've also entered Timberman.
Okay. So you've still got a busy year. Have you got any more ITU World Championships? You're doing
I'll do the long course duathlon's been cancelled.
Right.
But the short course is still on, and that's the last weekend of September. So it's quite close to. And actually, Paul Amy's planning on doing the same thing.
Right.
I had an email from him the other day. I've asked him not to me, and I said, right, can you do both? Because not only is it recovery, it's also do you have the speed to do a short course duathlon after you've obviously the primary aim of your training has been to do the long stuff for Kona.
Quite a lot of the guys will be going to Kona a bit before that to get used to the humidity and
I'll definitely, if I do it, I'll go straight from North Carolina straight over.
Oh yeah, well it'll be humid there, won't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well it's been interesting talking to you, Catriona, an insight into the life and mind of a pro.
Yeah, don't follow us at home.
So not enthusiastic at all, hates training, doesn't really like racing, doesn't have a plan, but just turns up and wins.
I like training.
Yeah.
And I like winning.
Yeah, so 2 out of 3.
And it's not a bad lifestyle, eh? That whole business where you like train, eat, sleep, train.
I know, if we stopped training though, what would it be like?
You have no idea. Let's just say genetically, this isn't my normal shape.
Isn't it? No. Probably half the people here as well are only doing triathlon so they can eat more. Anyway, talking of eating, I guess you've got to do some recovering. Thanks very much for your time, Catriona. Best of wishes in all your races this year, and I'm sure everybody at Tri247 will wish you luck as well.
Thank you.